welcome to Pickles. I'm Amir Bagdachi. You know, what's the one thing better than having an honest conversation? It's not having to have that honest conversation. That's why we're here. I've got a brand new batch of predicaments that you folks have sent in. Thank you very much. You can always do that at helpme.pickles@gmail.com. Let's get right into it. Try to get right into the spin doctoring. All right. This one, as they very often do, hit close to home. I started a new job where they celebrate everyone's birthdays in the office. How do I get out of it? It's very delicate. So first, there are two kinds of people in the world. There are those who feel sensitive about celebrating and making a fuss about their encroaching mortality. And then there are those who are in third grade. And no judgments here. Whichever side of that divide you're on, expect to be treated accordingly, is all I'm saying. So your job is to figure out what to say to thwart the party planner. This is not easy. The key question they're going to ask you is, when is your birthday? How you answer that determines a lot. One of the classic answers here is, can you believe it? Christmas. And then they'll be like, oh my gosh, Christmas? Do you get 2 sets of presents or just one? And you'll say, nope, just one, much like Jesus. And then you'll laugh, and they'll laugh awkwardly, and they won't ask you any follow-up questions. The matter is dead, because no party planner, no matter how excited, is going to try and shoehorn your birthday when they're too busy planning the annual office Christmas shindig. You're in the clear. A good variation on this, and only do this if you're truly skilled, say, my birthday is on Easter. If they say, wait, doesn't that change every year? You go, yeah, it does. It's very hard to keep track of. My parents missed it a bunch of times. My favorite is to say, my birthday is on MLK Day. And, I just feel like that day should really be consecrated to the struggle. I don't think Dr. King would want it to be about one person. Let's just honor his wishes and not make it about me. Do you know what I mean? It's a bad look for all of us. They won't ask any questions whatsoever. Promise you if you try that. Or alternatively, if they say, when's your birthday? Say, hey, I can't tell you my birthday because my birthday is my PIN number for my home security system and all of my financial accounts. So if I told you that, it'd compromise my entire life. And they'd be like, why didn't you just tell us your birthday without that other part? And you'll be like, well, it's too late now. Can't do it. That should get you out of this. All right, let's try another pickle. This one's going out. This is going out to my good friend Rachel. I once served chicken that was pink in the middle to a friend, and now she always reminds me of it laughing, and it's super annoying. Okay, Pickles is not a place where we trade in scientific facts. Right? There are other places on the internet where you can get your science if you want it. Nevertheless, in this particular instance, I feel compelled to establish a couple of empirical truths, okay? We've got to have a baseline of truth. First, according to the USDA, and you can check this on ask.usda.gov, the color of done chicken varies from white to pink to tan. And in fact, with a really young chicken, sometimes the oven gases can combine with the hemoglobin and make the entire chicken pink on the inside, regardless of its doneness. So if anything, in that particular case, the pinkness of the flesh is a signifier of how young and tender the chicken is. These are facts. Again, check with the USDA on this. I'm not lying. That said, there is another scientific fact here, and that is that this person is not your friend. They are trying to bully you, and they're making fun of you to have power over you. But they don't care about facts, so the facts are not going to help you. What are you going to say? I think everyone's instinct in this situation is to make light of it, to downplay it. No, do not do that. You call this person up and you say, hey, this isn't easy for me. I'm going down a list of people to call. Yesterday, some researchers from Singapore got in touch with me. They're tracking an outbreak. You know that pink chicken? Yeah. No, it's not salmonella. That actually would be a sweet mercy. It's something else. It's symphoma, polynomial symphoma. Yeah, actually with salmonella, you know right away, but looks like symphoma, it can linger in your intestines for years like a time bomb. Yeah, I know there's no cure yet. They're working on it. It's very hard to find test subjects that will willingly ingest pink chicken. So progress is super slow. But if there's one thing that came out of this that's any good, I just feel so close to you right now. Try that. I guarantee you, either this person will believe you and they will not call you again, or they will not believe you and they will also not call you ever again. You're done. Okay, last one is one of the single biggest pickles we could ever talk about. I think we're probably going to hit a version of this multiple times throughout this series. I have a gap on my resume. How do I explain it? Folks, why should you have to explain it? I mean, obviously you do. That's just the way the world works. But I want to say from my heart, why do we have to explain this? So what? There was a gap. Is it important that every moment of your life you're under contract, right? I'm speaking for everyone. Like what if, just hypothetically, you were unemployed from, say, end of 2008 to May 17th, 2010, right? So what? Is that really your fault? Especially if you're actively looking. Why are you asking the candidate? Why don't I ask the employers who never got back to me? Or in this case, you, right? They would know better. You didn't want to be unemployed necessarily. You just were. This whole thing's very unfair, right? You don't ask a zoo animal what were they doing before captivity. Why should everyone always be locked up somewhere, right? If you went to prison, you got out for a while, and then you were sent back to prison, we're not troubled by the period where you weren't institutionalized. We say, good for you. There was a time when you were free. And yet somehow employers need to know great detail about what you were doing in a gap. Why can't you just have your freedom? Nevertheless, this is how the world works. And this is why we need to get together and think about things like this. So here's the problem. A gap attracts attention. So you need to fill the gap. You don't want to lie, or let's be clear, you don't want to lie in a way that you can get caught. So here's what I recommend. Instead of saying you're unemployed, say you took a sabbatical. Sabbatical is very important. It's a magic word in this circumstance because no one's really sure what a sabbatical is. It sounds kind of magical. It sounds sort of academic, but also ritualistic. I don't feel like you can do a sabbatical unless there are candles arranged in a pattern on an altar. That's my feeling about it. So just say you took a sabbatical. And remember, a sabbatical doesn't happen to you. It's something you take. You were active. You made a strong choice. You weren't unemployed. You were taking a sabbatical. Now, if they ask, oh, what was the sabbatical for? And some people might. All right, this is a little tricky. This is always going to work, though. Say, I took a sabbatical to work on a book proposal. Think about that. There's no book yet. They can't prove that you did it or didn't do it. It's perfect. And why couldn't you have taken time off to work on a book proposal? Everyone's got a book proposal in them. Everyone. Even I've got one. For 20 years now, I've been kicking around an idea for this chronicle on the history and diversity of hash browns in the United States. It's a fascinating subject, right? Just think about it. If you ask 10 Americans to visualize hash browns, you'll get 10 different answers. You ask 10 Americans to visualize a bird, 7 of them will tell you it's a robin, not a flamingo. And yet birds have had millions of years to evolve. Hash browns, relatively shorter amount of time, but they are so diverse. Right? Think of just the families off the top of your head. There's the home fries, the cottage fries, the whole shredded family, the handheld tritator. It's an incredible, rich subject that I think says so much about us, as well as the potato. What's the title going to be? Oh, it's good. Morning in America, how we made a hash of our history. I know, I should probably do it. But doing it would mean I would have to take a sabbatical. And I couldn't do that to you people. I couldn't leave you hanging. So that is it for the pickles this week. If you've got some situations, and I know you do, send them to me at helpme.pickles@gmail.com. Also, if you just want to drop a line, you want to chat, you want to get together sometime, let me know. I'm totally open for this. Right now, we are on Spotify, but also if you're listening on Spotify and you're wondering, am I missing something? The answer is yes. This show is mainly my hand gestures, and you can see them all in the YouTube version. So, see you in a couple weeks, and share this with somebody. There's someone you know who's in a predicament, and they don't want to grapple with the tough stuff. They want to talk their way out of it. Let's help them. See you then.